on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome. Hello, world. This is Jineea Butler with your new American perspective. Today, my face is all big up, and then we have a great show for you today here on Millennium News 24. How was your week? Have you been keeping up with everything that's going on? Because we got to get on the new American gossip mill. And I would say that I didn't know that I was preaching to the congregation, but I know I'm preaching to the congregation when I'm telling you all these things that are happening. We have some great guests today. We got the A.B. Butler with the G check. We got John Williamson out in New Orleans talking about the Essence Fest, which is coming up. He should be getting on very soon. So let's talk about it. Okay. So first, we know that what had happened was that the Pete Hegseth supposedly had texted a journalist the war plans that were going on. Okay. And so Pete Hegseth, and so everybody is up in arms right now, and everybody is on Trump's head. And, let me say this. What I love about President Trump is that when he picks his team, he goes with his team. If you tell him, look, we didn't text the war plans, okay? Even though the text might be sent and all of that, we didn't text the war plans. Trump is going to get there and say, well, there was a mechanical issue with everything that was going on, and it wasn't us, right? So that's what's going to come out of President Trump. So President Trump said, listen, I talked to everybody, and then what I'm understanding is that it's more technical and computers make problems, and they didn't really send the war plans that said where our people was going to be at and all that stuff. They really didn't say that, but what they had said was that he might have got something like that. So we've got to be very careful. And I think this new administration coming in, they have come in with high hopes, and we're going to do this and that. And I think that in the process, what they've realized is that America is set up a certain way, right? America is set up so nobody could come over and take over in a dictatorship form. America is set up like that, right? Because everywhere they turn, they're suing a lot of people, and a lot of people are suing the United States, and President Trump is winning a lot of these battles, right? And so we've got to look at what part we as the new Americans are playing, and what's our perspective. And that's what we're doing here. Tune in to our Facebook page. You can check us out on Roku, Amazon, all around the world, the Sky Network, and you can check us out in so many places, Apple TV, and all of this. So where are you getting your news? Tune in. If you're on Facebook, leave us a message. Follow me on Instagram at Jineea Butler, Jineea Butler. Fly Girl Lady J, if you want to look me up, and all kinds of stuff. But we are going to really focus on what's been happening. And like I said, we've got a lot to talk about. I don't know if you non-hip hoppers out there have heard about a gentleman named Big U. We're going to talk about him and what's happening on the LA front and why it's happening, right? Most people in America think this is happening because, they caught the criminals and everything like that. Not that they didn't catch the criminal, okay? Not that they didn't catch the criminals, but let's look at why. Let's look at our American landscape and look at why. We know that President Trump flew those 350 Venezuelans back to Venezuela, and now they've picked up the plane again. So the plane is up and going yet again. And we are looking at it. I'm just tapping in to see where John is, where he's at. And again, so the planes are up again. Venezuela is looking to take in some new people. And because President Trump is like, look, if you don't take your criminals back, then we're going to put the tariff on you, and you will not be able to do the great business that you are doing in America. And now April 2nd is a big day next week. Remember, not April 1st, but April 2nd is the day when America's tariffs are going into action. President Trump wants the tariffs in action on April 2nd. That's when it's going on. He held off on everybody. He made negotiations. Everybody came up with their science of who, what, when, where, why. And then here we are right now, ready to move forward. And so how's that going to look? He's talking about the gas prices have went down. I filled up today for $75. It was, when he first came in, I was filling up for like about $60 per gallon, right? And so now it's 75. I filled up for 75. So that's good. So that means the prices are going down. So we got the gas, we got the food, the eggs are going down, and I look at this, and eggs have so much cholesterol, but egg has been an American morning food. Where are you at around the world? What is your morning food? Are eggs every day in your morning food? Because they're killing us out here. People we about to go on the egg shortage, which means the chicken shortage and all of that for the eggs. Everybody's about to kill each other. Remember, we was about to kill each other over the water. We was about to kill each other over the toilet paper. And now we're about to kill each other over the eggs. So I said to my homegirl, Endora, shout out to Endora and the National Business Kids out there in Washington, D.C. and Color of Health about to launch. Shout out to the girl out there. But I said, do you need eggs? Right? Eggs have so much cholesterol. Eggs have so much going on with it, right? Do you need the cholesterol in your system? Do we need eggs? Do we need to rely on eggs? Now, I know they're in the 4 food groups. Okay, they are in there. But again, a lot of us have cholesterol. A lot of us have issues. Do you need to rely on the eggs? I'm not sure. But the eggs prices have been going down. Inflation has been going down, right? We're looking for that $5,000 Elon was talking about. Okay, we got your girl. How can I forget her name? We got your girl talking about Elon Musk, and she's hold on one second. I have a brain freeze right now. Let me get her name, Congresswoman Crockett, right? Hold on, Jasmine Crockett. How could I forget her name? So we've got Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jazz then went jazzy on everybody. So if you've been under a rock, if you're in another country, we've got a great Congresswoman out of Texas that's getting a lot of press, right? And see, I think this is the problem with stuff, right? So she's out of Texas, young girl, she's running her district, an attorney. And so Jasmine, last week, she said she was at an event on Saturday for the American campaign, right? Human rights campaign. She was at the campaign, and she said she's in Texas with Governor Abbott, okay? For those who are outside the country, she's in Texas with Governor Abbott. And she said, we got Governor Hot Wheels out here. Now, she is taking on, the the hip hop congresswoman, the swaggy congresswoman. She coming out fly, her suits and everything. You know, they saying her girlfriend got a little facelift. She looking all fly for the TV. And, you know, everybody wants to interview her, and she's now got that fame. But we have to be careful because Mrs. Crockett, or Miss Crockett, I'm not sure if she's married, said Governor Hot Wheels. Not so good, Jazz, because Governor Hot Wheels is actually in a wheelchair. Now, she did say that she was not referring to his condition. She was referring to the planes, trains, and automobiles that he's been sending the migrants to all of the Black states. And then she also said, listen, we are coming from a group of people like President Trump and his cronies that say weird stuff all the time about people and are not sensitive to the stuff that they say. So she's saying that America is equal, okay? But what she's realizing, that it may not be as equal as she wants it to be, because now she actually has been censored in Congress for calling Governor Abbott Governor Hot Wheels. Okay, so if you don't know, a censure in Congress is, you know, kind of like disciplinary action. You know, you sit down, you know, it's kind of like, you know, go in the corner with your dunce hat on, because nothing really happens. But if you get a bunch of that, you get a bunch of censures, the House can vote you out. Okay, so while this is a we the people type of scenario, right, the House can actually vote you out in this scenario if you get a bunch of censors. So she's on notice. Then she got into it with Pam Bondi. Okay, and so Pam, she's running, you know, she's border, she's all of that. She's, you know, her and Tom, she putting all the people on the plane. So Pam is feeling a real brolic right now. And so last week she's been talking about Elon on her birthday. She was like, look, what I want for my birthday is to take Elon out for my birthday. That's what I want. So all of y'all get with it, start taking Elon out. Now, we've seen this before, right? In Auntie Max, right? So now she's taking on a younger Auntie Max role, a Nancy Pelosi. We're going to go ahead and get with these Republicans. But Jasmine, you have to be careful, because while America is perceived to be a free country, I would say that it's not. And I would say that tread lightly in certain spaces, because when you are exciting violence and then saying, oh, no, I didn't mean anything that I just said. I just meant that what had happened was, I just meant that no violence, no anything. Of course, I'm not stirring up any violence, but take them out. We can't do that, Jazz, right? And so I get where you're coming from, and I get we the people, and I get that the people are loving you and feeling you. And then you had a little slip of the lip. You know, and I talk crazy too. I give people nicknames and stuff like that. But Governor Hot Wheels is no good, Jazz. We're gonna need you to go ahead and retract that. Yeah, so hold on one second. So I'm seeing John, New Orleans, Levels Water. He's the owner of Level Water. If you see it, black owned, black owned, black owned. He's supposed to be coming on, and he may be coming on after the break, and we'll take a break. And
Hello. How we doing?
I'm wonderful. Good to see you. How are you today? Did you see me just throw up my level? Did you see me throw up my level?
There we go.
Levels to this, John. So this is John Williams, right?
Williamson.
Williamson. This is John Williamson out of New Orleans, one of our great entrepreneurs, one of our great proprietors out of New Orleans. And the water is just one thing he does. And so what we're going to do, John, we're going to take a break really quick, and we're going to come back in about, to us, it's going to be short. To them, it might be a little while, but we're going to come back really quick and talk with John Williamson about all the great things that he's doing here in America, not just in New Orleans, here in America. We'll be right back on Millennium News 24. And we are back. We're talking about levels.
Levels to it. It's levels to
there's
it.
levels to this. So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself. My congregation is all over the world. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Start from New Orleans all up, and then tell us how there's levels to this.
All right. Well, Jineea, thank you for having me today.
Sure,
Like, you got to come on the show. I'm like, all right. Okay.
I'm working. I'm busy. I got levels to this.
So today, it's like you always have things to do on a daily basis, obligations, responsibilities, and objectives, right? So
Sure.
In the scheme of things, you try to get what you can get in, and I'm glad I was able to get this in.
Yay!
In the group that's watching. So myself, John Williamson Jr., basically went to the military, came home. Before even going out to the military, my dad was an entrepreneur, my mom was entrepreneurial, and so those were definitely attributes. I did 3 years of high school, did some college, but the military kind of set me up. And my dad, as far as entrepreneurship, and he was cutting grass and landscaping, so that work ethic was always there. And I definitely knew what I didn't want to do, to go out and start doing something like the military, which my mom was like, you need to go to the military. So I did that, served my country. And even in that, I excelled, became a sergeant at the age of 19, or 20, 20, in Germany. I left Germany, stayed in Germany 2 years, and went to El Paso, Texas, became a sergeant, and got out the military. At the time I got out, the Katrina hit. Everybody knows about Katrina. And, I thought I was going to be doing this T-shirt thing, which I am happily doing now as well, a printing company. And I had a great cousin that had a print shop, and my grandmother was like, your Uncle Leon got a shop. I didn't know that. I just wanted to print some shirts. And at the time I was doing music. So all this stuff was like interesting to me. And I went in over there, and I was the last person to go through his shop to learn the business of printing, something like in the family, but something that could be passed on. We don't see that as much and as often. And so doing that, I learned everything about printing for T-shirts. But what I did was I took it further. I went into signs. I went into vehicle wraps and so on. So we cover down from big events to small events and small business.
Right.
We've been doing this since 2006, full time. We've been able to print for the NBA, NFL, BET, so vehicle wrap stuff out of New York. So we've been able to cover down just this past Super Bowl, because it was in New Orleans.
Yes.
We wrapped the truck which was Danny and Coops, the guy from Limitless, the movie Limitless. Can't call his name right now. I'm not calling his name. If you go and watch that movie, there's the guy there. He has a restaurant pop-up, and we wrapped the truck for him.
Nice.
So those opportunities, it's kind of like being prepared. They say, if you're ready, you don't have to get ready, right?
That's right.
Every day, that's what we're doing. That's what I think the idea for me is to be in a position where I am ready, so I don't have to get ready. You don't always meet that mark, but that's the things that happens. Opportunities present themselves, and the ones that are for you, you will take advantage of. The ones that are not, well, you don't stress yourself out, and you keep that gray off.
Look, I don't want to
I
look.
see you.
I don't want to show you what's going on over here, but I'm with it.
You keeping that gray off.
Yeah. Well, no, and look. I'm trying. Look, I'm trying. But listen, so this is wonderful. And this is the people that we have. So tell us a little bit about the water and how you got into the water in this unique, nice bottle that you have going on here. Tell us a little bit about that, because I haven't met any Black-owned water companies, that are really intricate and ready to hit the shelves like this.
Yeah. So Level came about, here in New Orleans. I'm one of the guys that would do promotions for big events. So we were doing this under an organization that my grandfather started in 1983 called Masada in Swahili, that represents helping people that need help. And he started this at a time where overnight stay in hot plates was a thing, and even to this day, it is a thing. But being in this new era, I've added on community development along with the social services aspect of it. And in the social services part of it, we still continue. And one of those programs that we were fundraising for, which is now Camp Focus, we were selling water, and we were selling water as a fundraising mechanism. And something hit me one day after 5 years of doing that, and not just selling on any water, like a spring water. It was like, what if we had our own water that would be a olive branch help for the organization, but also be its own entity, right? And that's how Level came about. So myself being who I am, just saying, if I'm gonna do something, I got to understand the process of it. I'm like, I ask everybody what's their superpowers, right? So it's like the 10 steps of me saying, okay, what is it, everything about water? Because if anybody asks me about water, I should be able to explain to them about water from that POV. And I just got into it and took some months and understood everything about water.
Wow. And now we have
Now we have Level. And Level came, it was like, Level. Why Level? Level. You want to be level in all areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
You want to level up. And who doesn't want to level up? And even if you spell level backwards, it's still level. So it's divine.
Well, who knew, right?
Who knew? So it's very divine.
What should people know about water? I know that you and I have had extensive conversation about water. What should people know about water, and when they're choosing which bottled water that they want to drink?
Well, I think the first thing is that you should definitely conserve water, right? You should definitely be conscious of how you're using water, because we use water for different things. We use water. The water is life. Bottom line, water is life. And when you think about water being life, you're going to be very conscious and conservative about your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and it gets into consuming water. Well, there's different ways. There's different things of spring water, alkaline water, and you get into more leisure when you get into like sparkling water. And
mm-hmm.
Like my mother, I was on the phone with her. She's a sparkling water. One of her favorites is sparkling water. So I think that in the dietary tract, you should have a good range, and you should have some spring in your life. You should have some alkaline in your life, and you should have maybe some sparkling for people that maybe want to pass when they get, something like my wife, she gets the gas. So instead of her doing like baking soda, I'm like, you want to put the baking soda in your water? All right, well, that's a remedy that works. But, if she had a Sprite, she's like, well, I don't have a Sprite. I'm like, well, okay. All right. So I think that we use it for different reasons, but on a health tip, alkaline water is the water of choice. It's going to be good for you because it definitely helps your pH. Now, what is pH, right? pH in your body. Your pH represents your body's actual 7. So most women are a 7. Men are going to be a 7. Well, women are going to fluctuate, but your pH would be about a 7. And that's what it should be to operate your body properly so you can fight off disease and just it's like a car that's leveled off. All the fluids are topped off, right? It's going
Mhm.
to work better. Now, your alkalinity in your body is 7, and your stomach's pH is going to be a 3.5.
Mhm.
Now, why is that? Because the lower the acidic level, the lower the pH, the more acidic it is. So when you eat food and you digest anything, your pH automatically goes down. Now, of course, if you're in New Orleans, you're eating a little more spicy food, so your pH is going to go down even a little more,
Mhm.
right? If you're drinking, it's going to go down. So anything that you digest is going to bring your pH down, which makes it more fluctuating for anybody. Now, why is the pH important? Because if you're drinking a high pH water, then you can offset that pH back to your 7 rate that you should be at on a daily basis. So people think about this and they subconsciously don't really put much thought into their pH.
Right, right, right.
And it's just as simple as this. When you have a headache, is it because your pH is low or because you're dehydrated?
Mm.
Right?
Good
So
one.
so if
All
you
this
think,
stuff is wonderful information.
yeah, and we are quick to take an aspirin or something like that, but we can avoid those things by making sure that we're properly hydrated. So, the things that we need in life, right? Sleep, food, and water, right?
So so now that's wonderful. And I'm glad. See, and this is what we need in our community. We need somebody that is getting a product and then masterminding what it means to us, how that plays a part in our lives, and be able to explain it, because sometimes people have products and they don't know, they're just doing it just to be doing it. But I thank you for that lesson that you just gave our congregation. Now here's the next one. You do a lot of stuff, these NOLA boys or men or something else. Shout out to Ricky Wilson out there, because that's my guy and he does the cars. And when you need that, we'll have Ricky on as well. But let's talk about what you do for the Essence Fest and what's coming up and how people can potentially take advantage of it. Entrepreneurs that want to come out and sell. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, how you run the city during the Essence Fest.
Well, I'm not the mayor of the city, but I'm definitely a guy that I think you can get some answers.
I'm not the mayor, but
I know. I'm joking. So I do regard myself as being, if you're anywhere, wherever you are in life, right? Your circle is just as important
Mhm.
your network. And I think that when you do good by people, you have a good face card, you have a good name. What I've been able to do here is being an event coordinator, promoter. Uh, the event I was talking about where we were selling water, well, that is one of those events is Essence, and
Mm.
and so I run the vendors on the outside. If you're outside and from the Superdome to the convention center, I'm the guy that people would really connect with to get a space. So when you get a space, then this is not like a traditional event, of course, where this event goes about 15 plus hours per day. That's a long time, not like your typical event. And we have vendors that come from all over. I've had vendors from New York. I've had vendors from Philly. I've had vendors from Virginia, all over the country, from LA. They come for Essence because Essence has been around a long time.
Mhm.
And it's one of those Afrocentric events that's in a city that has the culture that just makes it fit really well here. So to come here and for Essence is a different experience than coming here for, say, Mardi Gras. And so I think that anybody that's doing vending would be a great opportunity to experience New Orleans during Essence because of those factors compared to, say, another time. And then it's 4th of July. Well, of course, we know how we feel about 4th of July, but Essence itself, it represents a time where people are in the city, a black city, with that vibe like no other. Now,
Yeah.
to be a part of that, you can reach out to me at Masada, which is MSAADAINC at inc.org.
Mhm.
Or you can go to our email, which is MSAADAINC at Gmail. And on the site, we have a link for our locations and events that we have coming up. Right now, we just put out our 90-day event. So it's funny that we connected to get on this call in this Zoom, because we just put this email out this week about our 2 locations that
I'm
we're
on point.
You own it. You know? So that's what they call high frequency. We operate at a high frequency, so we're gonna always connect.
I was like, isn't it Essence time? Shouldn't we talk about Essence today? Called them this morning. So thank you so much for getting on with me today and sharing all this great information. So what's your Instagram? Tell them more about how they can get in touch with you. I don't know what happened to my guy John. He flicked off for a half a second. It looked like he just flicked off as well. Well, John will come back, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a break, and when we come back, we'll have AB Butler with the G Check. So looking forward to seeing you in a couple minutes, and we'll be back with the New American Perspective. I'm your host, Jineea Butler, on Millennium News 24.
Hello viewers, you are watching Millennium News 24. America and global villages Saint America independence built by immigrants, manufacturers, roads, highways, educations, healthcare, IT, scientists, space, business development to all thousands of multimedia and all major social media platforms and news network in America. Millennium News 24, one of truthfully news networks in America and global news organizations. Please watch, follow and subscribe. We are in iOS and Android devices, Roku, Amazon, Apple devices, all smart TV, globally Horizon satellite, social media Millennium News 24, Millennium TV 24. Website www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Thank you.
And we are back here on the New American Perspective with your host, Jineea Butler. How did you like that? How did you like my guy, John Williamson from Levels Water, Masada, out of New Orleans? And New Orleans, they have a special thing about those men and women out there. They're entrepreneurs. They work together. We need to take something from them. They're family people. You know, they've been through a lot, you know, with Katrina, rebuilding their whole city and presenting us with great music, great food. I'm hungry right now, John. I'm hungry. Okay. So thanks again to John Williamson, and we'll see him soon, and we'll be out Essence Fest live here on Millennium News 24. We're getting ready. So I'm waiting for AB Butler to jump on, and we've got some things to talk about this week with you. Okay. I think that you remember earlier in the program where I talked about Big U. Have you heard about this gentleman, Big U? In California, there was a big gang sweep. About 21 people picked up on a RICO charge, right? And, you know, I know that most people don't know about it, but it made national news. It made big headlines across the world, okay? And I want to tell you why. In most people are talking about the violence and the destruction that people have had, right? From these people that they are allegedly charging with extortion, human trafficking, murder, drug dealing, and pretty much everything that goes in on a RICO charge. But I want to look at this. I want our New American Perspective. I'm coming up with it right now. But our New American Perspective investigators team to look at this differently. You as the congregation, I want you to type in right now, go on your Google, just type in Big U. Okay, so let me tell you about Big U. And I actually met him. We honored this gentleman back in 2018. Los Angeles had an all-star game in 2018, and we honored Big U for his unwavering work within the community. When we went to LA and said, who is the person that should be honored in LA? Everybody echoed, Big U, Big U, Big U. Hey, how are you there? There goes my G-check, brother, cousin. Hey now.
What's up, cuz? How you doing today?
First. Don't be popping on after the brain surgery, looking real snazzy here. This is a miracle right here. God is a miracle worker right here. Can we give a round of applause for God, the miracle worker? Because check this guy out. He's up talking in the camera. I don't know what's going on, but it's that Butler blood.
That's that Butler blood. It's God blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And come on, I got always give my props. Come here, gangster mommy. Come on, mom. Come here, let the world see. Come on in, Europe. This is what you call true friends. That
Right.
when you go through things, they hold you down. We're gonna start off with the queen.
Hello, young lady.
How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Great and blessed as always.
And blessed and holy favor.
Yes, I love it.
Yes. So, you know, she come and hold me down. She's 90 years old. Let me state that. 90 years old.
That's 90 years young, excuse me.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
you know, she really 49, really. You know what I mean? And, you know, she come.
Lord.
Yeah, she got the pressure on me. You know, she got me on lock. She won't let me out. She holding me down, you know. She got her foot on my neck, and I tell her lift it up sometimes, but she hard head.
She know how to get you right.
Right on that.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. A mother's love. We all need that in our lives.
Yeah, sexy. And then let me bring my brother, you know what I mean, from the A. Euro God, he flew in from Atlanta, came and hold me down,
Right.
and show me love. Tell him about you, Euro.
Yes. Recorded artist from Atlanta. A lot of A-listers. Transition over to the fashion world. Still doing music. Always been rocking with AB.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
To the New American Perspective. Welcome to the G-Check.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some of this, okay? Let's get into this because we want to make sure that the viewers today get what we are talking about. And we are going over, this is the New American Perspective G-Check investigative team right here. Because I think that, you know what happened last week in LA, correct?
Yeah.
They had a big gang bust, RICO indictments all over the place. Everybody is all shaken up. Everybody shook up the world out there in LA. And everybody that we see online, they're talking about it. They're going over the case. They're reading the indictments. But I'm looking at it that we need to really do a true G-check, right? And you always talk about people running their mouths all the time. So let's just G-check that. G-check for me, people running their mouth.
Well, me personally, how can I put it in a good way where, you know, what goes on? What we doing right now on this internet, this social media world, this new world order, social media, we making the government that get paid a lot of money. We making the feds, they getting paid a lot of money to do nothing but stay on the computer and just monetizing people talking about people. You know what I mean? So it's like once again, they making the job easy where they getting the big bucks and these dudes getting pennies, and we locking up people that look just like us
For talking.
for talking. You know what I mean? It's like it's no more. They doing investigation. They, you got all the podcast guys now is doing all of the investigation, the breakdown, and the only thing they doing is making their job easy. Just go get them and lock them up, and then they get the credit, they get the points, they get everything. So I say personally, let them do their job, man, because then you look in the system, and we wonder why we always say it's always brown and black people inside of jail, because we keep locking ourselves up, and then we go to the graveyards and look at all the caskets because we killing each other. So when I'm saying, as it's good that you got a story, but why make it easy for them to do what they do and they get the big bucks?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a cheat check.
Exactly.
Okay? So I think that through everything that we're going to bring up right now is, again, the reason behind it, because I want to look at the fact that, like you said, this is not about them telling on themselves. I mean, they made it easy for a case. They made it simple to create a case. But I want to point out that I watched everybody's podcast, from Star to Academics to WAC 100, across the board. I watched everybody talk about everything but the fact that the Olympics are coming out in LA 2028. And so while they took 21 black men off the street that were on the internet talking about themselves and giving them something to talk about, they actually are cleaning up the streets and making everything right for 2028. And this big U is a scapegoat. Okay. And that's what we have to look at. He has become a scapegoat, because let me break it down to you. So back in 2021, so we know in 2018, Nipsey Hussle was killed. Okay. Nipsey Hussle, what's your thoughts on Nipsey?
Well, me personally, I met Nipsey, but I really didn't know him. You know what I mean? Because, like, you gotta remember, I was going for a long time myself, so a lot of these new cats I really didn't know. But at the end of the day, when I met him, he was a good guy. You know what I mean? Real cool, humble, respectful, and
I met Nipsey at the Core DJs as well, and we talked about we had a similar viewpoint on hip hop, because we were talking about, this was early when I met him before he got blown up, and he was talking about the things that he was doing for the community and everything like that. So this is somebody who got the money and then put the money into his community, and then his community or somebody in the community killed him. He was a Crip gang member out of LA. Somebody in the community killed him in 2018, and the community has been sad. He's somebody that brought the Crips and the Bloods together in LA, and that's big turf for gangs in LA, is that if you grow up in LA, you're going to grow up a Crip or a Blood, and that's just what it is. And this goes maybe 4 generations deep at this point. So this is the culture. And the police know the culture as well in LA. The police participate very much in the culture. It's different than anywhere that you can look at across the world. So I want, again,
that's what they grew up in. You know what I mean? It's like every city is known for something, and the world know LA is raised in the gang world. You know what I mean? So we understand that.
we have to understand that when we're digging deep into what we're looking at. So now everybody is so, oh my God, Big U got picked up. And we pretty much know that Big U, who did 17 years, he's been home for 21 years, but who did 17 years before that, may not be coming home off of this indictment. He's going to have to take a lot. If he takes a plea deal, it's going to be a lot of years on it, and if he takes it to trial, it's going to be a lot of years behind that too. And we're going to go to a break right quick, but when we come back, we're going to break down a little bit more of what this means and how our communities need to move going forward. This is a G check. And when we come back, we'll talk about it. This is Jineea Butler. This is AB Butler. And we'll be right back on Millennium News 24. We are back here on Millennium News 24. This is your G check of the New American Perspective. I'm here with my co-host AB Butler, and we are breaking down what has happened in LA and why we've got to look a little deeper than the surface. So again, if you didn't realize that in LA 2028 and in 2026, LA is hosting the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game in 2026 again. And so in 2021, so like I said, Nipsey Hussle got killed in 2018. In 2021, one of the police union chief came out and said, listen, and I think you might have remembered it. The police union chief came out and said, listen, if you come to LA for any reason, Grammys, whatever we got going on here, we cannot protect you. That's a G check. Okay. Said you are on your own. The police cannot protect you with everything that's going on, right? So
I remember that.
It's like, wow, like, what do you mean the police cannot protect us? But that's how bad it is in those LA streets. The police are not running, the inmates are running the building in LA. Okay. So then, yeah, exactly. The convicts. And so then the police chief, the actual chief said, no. You can come to LA, because now can you imagine what happens when somebody says, don't come to LA because we can't protect you? That's money for all those businesses. That's everything going out the window. Everything is going awry. What are you talking about? How are you going to say that we can't protect the people and we got to protect the people? So this happened in 2021. Now, if you noticed, in 2021, Big U, they started the wiretap on him in 2021. Okay, so they said, okay, what are we gonna have to do about this? We got to clean up the streets. So Big U, who after Nipsey died, they have a police program that uses ex-gang members. They give ex-gang members money to lead in the community. Big U was one of those people. He got about $5 million in the last 5 years for his programming, and he does football. And now Big U's son is on the San Diego Chargers. So his program actually works. But then, let's add on then, 2021, a young man was killed. Mr. Williams Mr. Williams was killed in 2021. Okay, somebody that lived in Big U's house. Okay, that was Big U's best friend, Big U's son's best friend. Grew up with him, went to Crenshaw High, and then ended up dead in a ditch in Las Vegas in 2021. Okay, so now again, more reason to put Big U under this, and Big U was the alleged killer. Okay, and so now they're saying that what had happened was is that this young man was in the studio and he did a diss song on Big U. Okay, and he did this song on Big U. Big U didn't like that. You know, this is Big U. So he didn't like that, allegedly. He then goes, right, allegedly. He then gets in the car with Big U. Big U said, oh, I could imagine Big U was sitting there like, okay, okay. Let's take a ride. Let's take a ride right quick. Right? So they in Vegas, that they at the studio in Vegas. Big U says, let's take a ride right quick. Right? So they ride off. Big U turns off his cell phone. Okay? On the ride. Allegedly. Well, that is a fact that he turned off the cell phone during this time, right? Then he comes back. He for a couple hours he's gone. He comes back without Mr. Williamson. He comes back without him, sweaty. All this kind of stuff. He says he just came from the gym. Turned his phone back on, or he turned his phone back on. I'm not sure whether he got in the place, whatever. He turned his phone back on. The baby boy is not with him.
Let me say this, right? Everything you saying, right? It got everything to do. Once again, people, listen to what she's saying. Listen to how she's breaking it down, right? But it all wind up on these smartphones. These phones is so smart that it don't matter what you do in life. They gonna follow you. You know what I'm saying? These phones is nothing but a trap off. So it go from social media to the phones. Those are the two judges right there. You know what I mean? In the jury. They're gonna convict you
right
through the phone, through social media, and people making the indictments, the cell indictments, the conviction. Easy. Hear what we saying. This is a G check. Be careful how you move on your phone. Be careful how you do things, because you got to be careful. That's why people don't realize everybody around you, what they could get out of you, what they could use, or what they could tell down the line. So at the end of the day, people, your mom explained this to you when y'all was kids. Learn from mistakes. People, mistakes.
Right.
If you don't understand, this is easy. It don't matter. Right now, like I said, we say it all the time. It's the cell phones, it's the cameras in the air. You can't do nothing no more because they got cameras everywhere. They got cameras in your sneakers.
Right.
They got cameras in your glasses. You got cameras in your clothes. No matter what, they're going to convict you. So we got to learn and to flip it around and do something better and change the way we think, the way we operate, the way we move. Because at the end of the day, it's like we keep bringing us down because of greed, pettiness, selfish. You get where I'm coming from?
Right.
So we hate each other, but we keep destroying each other. So we sit back and blame everybody else for what we do to ourselves. Can't
Right.
get mad at nobody else. You can't get mad at the police. Can't get mad at the KKK. We can't get mad at none of these people. We got to be mad at ourselves. You understand? Because we keep doing it to ourselves. And then if you look at so much, when we say let's do this, black on black, help black on black, it become black on black become greedy. That's our problem. We become greedy and selfish, where we want to just keep sucking the blood, where everybody feel that it's enough money, it's enough love, it's enough respect out here for everybody. It's all about respect. You know what I mean? If you don't understand where we say we don't get enough love in the house, respect your mother and father, you'll get all the love you can. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. You know, you ain't got to get on here to be everybody a gangster till the feds come.
Till the feds come.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let me finish this off, because that was a G check.
Exactly.
G check. Okay. And that's a fact. Those are facts. And so now what happened was they had to go, and the mother of this son, now he didn't go to the funeral. He didn't talk to the family. He was cool with the family up until this point. Right.
Mhm.
So then, you know, he listened to what he was saying. He was, you know, probably talking a little bit too much what was happening in the house, what he was talking about.
Mhm.
He said, come on, take this ride. But then they said that his DNA, Big U's DNA, were under the young boy's fingerprints. So
He was scratching or whatever.
right, maybe they squabbled a little bit, but the young boy was found 9 a.m. the next morning in a ditch in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Okay, the next morning in a ditch, and it seemed like was he even hidden? Did you try to bury him? I don't know. And this is alleged. So now what they've got Big U on is they've got him on extorting people, going into different businesses around LA and on camera with a cannabis shop where he's taken, the feds were giving him marked money.
Mm.
Okay, so now they're giving him marked money. So he say he coming to the cannabis spot every week and getting $1,000. He's getting $1,000 of marked money. And you know what happened is that marked money spread all around his crew. So now they're tracing all this money that they're put out to everybody that they put it out. So they're seeing the whole operation, right? Remember how you said that they had to put the dye in you so they could see whatever?
My brain, yeah.
Right. So that's what they did with that money. So now they get to see where this goes, where this is buying coke, this is buying this, this is buying that. So they had a huge drug bust. All not being cognizant of what is going on. So now we know that LA just had all of those forest fires. You know, God forbid anybody who lost a home. You know, big tragedy in LA. But I need you to look a little deeper, because what's going to happen 2028 is that there's $8 billion going to be reinvested into LA. Right? And so now everybody from all over the world is coming to LA for the Olympics. So this is the G check that I want people to see. Big U can't be on the street. Okay? Taking out the big wigs coming from all these other countries. They are preparing LA for 2028. 2026 NBA, right? They need investment capital. They need everybody. Y'all saw Snoop over here. Y'all saw Snoop over in where were they at just now? In Japan.
Japan. Yeah, I think it was over there. Yeah.
You just saw them over there. And Money and everybody that was over there. Well, that's about to help happen in LA.
Yeah.
And Big U and Loose Cannon and Brick Baby and all these people's indictments,
Mm-hmm.
they lead up to the real G check. And that is the fact that you are now a scapegoat, because we have to create the illusion that we are cleaning up the streets of LA, that the streets of LA now, they've got quote unquote the biggest extortionist, the biggest drug dealer, the biggest gang member, which is not true. But it looks like that on paper because you gave them everything that they needed.
Yeah. It's just, but you gotta always remember this. Shout out to New Jack City. Wesley Snipes said, "You could take me down, but there's another one coming behind me. It don't matter."
And that's what LA needs to put in mind. So they're putting up everything, Kendrick Lamar and everybody now. They're making Kendrick Lamar the face after they bait and switched, right? So Big U, we got him off the streets. Now let's start selling LA. And you're gonna see that more often. So this is an absolute G check today. Thank you for joining us around the world and all that. Tap in today. And again, watch your circle.
Yeah, you got to. You got to keep your eye, because you got to remember it's a lot of things that separate real friends. Money, girls,
So,
material things. You
mhm.
get where I'm coming from? So you gotta look at it this way, man. If somebody is in your circle, is close to you, and they want to see you win and want to see you make it to the top, that's a true friend. Like my man, like my brother Euro, came all the way from Atlanta.
That's your
flew
guy.
up- Yeah, that's Euro Gotti.
Okay, I know who he is.
Come on in, Euro. Come on in. Yeah. You know what I mean? He flew all the way from Atlanta, like, bruh, I'm
Mhm.
coming to see you, man. I got to make it to see you.
That's
So,
what
you know what I mean? Came and spent time, stayed at the crib, and show love, man. This is love right here. This is a bond, you know? It ain't just, yeah, we do this, we do that. Nah, it's incredible.
Fam. Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful. So that is our show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to seeing you next week on the New American Perspective and the G Check here on
Exactly. Yeah.
24. We're signing out, and we'll
Yes.
see you next week.
Shout
And
out to Mama, Gangster.
you
Shout
know,
out to Euro,
yeah,
Savannah the Artist,
yeah.
Ron Stu, and Trees Da Vinci. We holla.
Let's go. See you next week.
Fat Joe, I love you, boy.
We can go on forever.
All right.